You may not believe it, but this little girl playing with a bouncing stick made a group of adults panic. Someone even rushed to push her away. At this time, the bouncing stick next to her suddenly sank to the ground. The reason being that there is a creature on the ground that wants to attack people. Creatures will find out the location of humans based on their noises on the ground. Everyone fled in panic. What exactly was the creature that made everyone flee in such panic? Next will be the plot of the movie. Valentine, Val McKee, and Earl Bassett are handymen working in Perfection, Nevada, an isolated settlement in the high desert east of the Sierra Nevada mountains. They eventually get tired of their jobs and leave for Bixby, the nearest town. As they leave, they discover the dead body of another resident, Edgar Deems, perched atop an electrical tower, still grasping the tower's crossbeams and his rifle. Jim Wallace, the town's doctor, determines that Edgar died of dehydration, apparently having been too afraid to climb down. Later on, an unseen creature kills Shepherd Fred and his flock of sheep. Val and Earl discover his severed head and believe that a serial killer is on the loose. Two construction workers ignore Val and Earl's warning and are killed by the same creature, causing a rock slide. Val and Earl try to find help after warning the residents, but find the phone lines are dead and that the rock slide has blocked the only road out of town. Out of sight, a snake-like creature wraps itself around their truck's rear axle, but is torn apart when Val stomps on the accelerator and drives away, and is discovered when they return to town. Val and Earl borrow horses to ride to Bixby for help. They come upon Wallace and his wife's buried station wagon near their trailer, but the couple is missing, having been killed the previous night. As they press on, an enormous burrowing worm-like monster suddenly erupts out of the ground, revealing the snake-like creature to be one of the worm's many tentacled tongues. Thrown from their horses, the men flee with the monster in pursuit. The chase ends when the eyeless creature crashes through the concrete wall of an aqueduct, dying from the impact. Rhonda LeBecq, a graduate student conducting seismology tests in the area, stumbles onto the scene. She deduces from previous readings that 3 other worms are in the area. Rhonda, Val, and Earl become trapped overnight atop a cluster of boulders near one of the worms, and surmise that the creatures hunt their prey by detecting seismic vibrations. The trio then find some discarded poles and use them to pole vault over to nearby boulders, and eventually reach Rhonda's truck. narrowly escaping the creature. After the three return to town, the worms attack and kill general store owner Walter Chang, forcing everyone to hide on the town's various rooftops. Meanwhile, survivalist couple Bert and Heather Gummer managed to kill one of the creatures after unwittingly luring it to their basement armory. In town, the two remaining worms attack the building foundations, knocking over a trailer belonging to Nestor before dragging him under and devouring him. Realizing they cannot stay in the town any longer, Earl, Rhonda, and Miguel distract the monsters, while Val commandeers a track loader and chains a semi-trailer to the rear. The survivors use it to try to escape to a nearby mountain range. En route, both worms create a sinkhole trap that disables the track loader, and the survivors flee to some nearby boulders for safety. Then has an idea to lure in the worms and trick them into swallowing Bert's homemade pipe bombs. The strategy successfully kills one worm, but the last one spits a bomb back towards the survivors. Forcing them to disperse as the explosion destroys all but one of the remaining bombs. Val lures the final worm into chasing him to the edge of a cliff, and then explodes the remaining bomb behind it, frightening the worm into charging through the cliff face, where it plummets to its death onto the rocks below. The group returns to town, where they call in the authorities to begin an investigation, while Earl encourages Val to pursue a romantic relationship with Rhonda.